That reminds me of a story. I've hurt myself with food many times. When I was in high school, I was in a culinary program, and we had like older kids and younger kids were kind of like in the same group. And like an older kid came up to me and he had a dried arbol chili, which is pretty spicy. I don't remember where it ranks, but pretty spicy, and it was nice and it was dried. So he put a bunch of like some kind of special hot sauce on it. He's like, bro, I'll give you like $15 if you eat this. I'm like, for real? Yeah, I want free money. I'm like an 11th grader. Like, I desire cash. Please give me money. And then another person came in and was like, oh, I'll hop in on that. Yeah, I'll give you $1 or $2. And I was like, okay, I was gonna do it anyways, but I'm not gonna turn down your money. So I did it, and it was really hot, like extremely spicy. And I remember like going into like the big walk-in freezer that we had in the kitchen, and kind of just sitting there and calming down. And eventually, I was able to get back home. And everything was fine. And I was like, oh, that was a terrible situation I got myself in, but at least I made like $20 between, a couple of different people. So the next day, I was lucky enough to be able to drive to school. I might have been in 12th grade now that I think about it. I was able to drive myself to school. And I got up, I was ready to go, got in my little uniform, and I started driving to school. And I got maybe 3 or 4 minutes away, and I had to like race back from where I was, from like a light, and reverse all the way back to my house. And I ran in, and my father was still home. He hadn't gone to work yet, and he's like, aren't you supposed to be in school? I'm like, I can't talk. And I was about to shit my pants. And I made it to the toilet just in time. And it felt like someone was pouring hot sauce out of my asshole. It was terrible. I was on the toilet for at least 30 minutes. My dad was like trying to leave for work, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, just call the school. I can't go to school today. I'm not getting off this toilet. So I think I stayed on the toilet for another like 20 or 30 minutes. And the rest of the day I napped. And then went to the bathroom sporadically. Was it worth the $20? Yes, I think so. I truly do think it was worth the $20. And I still have the game I bought with the $20. It's in that shelf somewhere. Very worth it. But actually, you know what? That reminds me of another food story. Another high school teach food story. So in this story, similar time, I think this is probably a year later. One of my friends who was a year behind me in school, his parents were going out of the country for a week or a couple of days. And they were like, hey, like, while he's out in school or like coming back, can you just come in and like check the house and make sure he's okay? We don't think anything's going to happen, but like, he can't drive, you can drive. Can you just hang out with him? And just like, if anything happens, just be there to make sure he can get transport to where he needs to go. And I was like, I was gonna hang out with my friend anyways. So sure, I'll do that. So me, my best friend, and my other friend that we're kind of like house sitting for, they gave us money for food, and all of us were culinarily capable. Let's say, because we were all in the culinary classes. So we're like, let's do like root beer. Or not root beer, sorry. I just saw root beer and said the word. Let's do burritos. Big, chunky burritos like the ones you get at Chipotle. Let's make them at home, though. And we all agreed. And then we're like, we need to play a drinking game. But, legally. We need to play a legal drinking game. So we were going to play Wizard Stick. I don't know if you guys have heard this. This is like an actual drinking game with alcohol, or it was. I don't know if it's relevant anymore, but it was a relevant drinking game, specifically with cans. So you would drink a can of whatever beverage you choose, and then as you drink the cans, you stack them up and tape them or, attach them together in some way that allows them to maintain their structure and stability. And you're trying to make the biggest wizard stick, and whoever has the biggest wizard stick is king of the wizards and is allowed to beat the shit out of everybody else at their will, as they are wont to do as the king of the wizards, Wizard King. So we couldn't do actual alcohol. We couldn't buy it, and we were responsible young men for the most part. So what we decided to do was, well, we're teenagers. Let's do Mountain Dew. So we each got a 12-pack of Mountain Dew. We're like, this is going to be, we're going to knock this out easy. And we each got like a different flavor. So at that time, Mountain Dew hadn't hit the peak insanity of flavoring as it is now. This is 15 years ago, maybe. So like the three Mountain Dew flavors were like regular, Code Red, and like the blue Baja Blast or something like that. So we each got a 12-pack of that. And we're like, let's just all stick with one. So we all got the one that we kind of wanted the most. And we just started chugging Mountain Dew. And some of them were cold, some of them were warm. It depended on like how much room we had in the fridge and how much ice we had. So we ate our big-ass burritos, and we're already feeling bad. And we had probably like 2 cans of soda each before we ate the burritos. And then, that there's that like not trial period, but like calm period before disaster strikes. The calm. And so we drank some more, like, we're okay. And, we drank at least 1 or 2 more Mountain Dews each. But, like, after the burrito, we're like, I'm kind of bored of my flavor. So everyone's like, yeah, well, let's just switch flavors. Let's all just do a different flavor. So we knock back a couple other ones, and we get disturbingly sick. One of my friends retreats to his bathroom, and I don't see him again for like 20 or 30 minutes. My other friend goes and runs away to my friend's bedroom, and I don't see him for a while. And I have slumped myself over the back of a couch. I can't even be dicked to like lay down properly. I have just slumped myself over like you do a coat or a jacket or something. And I stay like that, and I was finally able to flop myself over and lay down. And there's no words exchanged between us. Only the echoes of moans are heard throughout the house, and whimpers. And if you can listen closely, vomit is happening somewhere. So eventually everybody comes out from our respective recovery areas, and we're just like, okay, we're never doing this again. And we still tell the story to this day, and the joke is, don't mix flavors, because we associate the problem with right when we started mixing flavors. So that's like our little inside joke, is never mix flavors or any of that. Just don't do that story. And I don't think any of us even got to beat each other up with wizard sticks, because we all got immediately sick. So we didn't even get to play the game. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.